Well? Well, I'm waiting.
Mummy, please.
I simply want an answer from your father. I bitterly regret now that I was so kind and forgiving when he lost the Rolls-Royce to Lord Ickenham last year.
Well, that was just a run of bad luck, Drusilla. I had 3 kings.
Enough. As for this latest outrage...
Not in front of the guests, Mummy.
I am sorry if I'm embarrassing the guests. But what I have to say applies equally to them. There will be no more betting of any sort in this house.
Oh, I say.
No.
Just a few little bets, hmm?
No. I have said all I intend to say on the matter.
Oh, Jimbles.
I want to show you.
Righto.
Come on. Look, inside, behind the bar. Her name is Myrtle. Isn't she beautiful?
She's a tender goddess, isn't she?
She is, she is. You're going to see it, can't you?
What happened to Daphne?
Daphne.
The one who came after Honoria.
Passing fancy, Bertie, the folly of one's youth.
It was only a week and a half ago.
Myrtle was up in town to see her uncle. We met on top of a bus. She was... Hello, Steggles. Come and meet my friend, Bertie Wooster.
How do you do?
This is Rupert Steggles.
What ho, Steggles?
I'm going inside. This fresh air is getting into my lungs.
He's staying at Lord Wickham-Leslie's, too.
Snappy dresser.
I wish you wouldn't hang around Myrtle all the time, though. She doesn't like it. I say, Bertie, do you want to come in on a little flutter?
You interest me strangely, old bird. There's one thing we Woosters are positively dripping with. It's sporting blood.
Steggles has decided to make a book on the sports of the village fete.
Say,
I think I can put you in the way of making a parcel on the mother's sack race.
lead on, old scout.
The idea is an attractive one, sir. Unfortunately, Lady Wickhamsley has come down strongly against any form of betting at Twing. Partly, I understand, as a result of his lordship losing the East Wing in a game of shove halfpenny last week.
Ah, this is bad news, Jeeves.
Indeed, sir. It was only the strongest possible representations to the other party involved and the passage of a considerable sum in money that saved the old place.
No, I meant about the betting.
I'm so looking forward to the fete on Monday.
Me too. I love all those races they have.
Yes.
My favourite's the boys and girls mixed animal potato race.
What on earth is that?
Oh, it's wonderful. You all get into couples, and each couple is given an animal noise to make and a potato.
And one of you stands in a fixed spot, holding the potato and making the animal noise.
Mewing like a cat or barking like a dog. And the other one has a bag over his head.
And has to try and find his partner.
I've forgotten what the potato's for.
Well, damn difficult to estimate form, anyhow.
Hugo.
Right, you got the race card?
Yes, come on. But you know the most wonderful thing?
Later.
Guess who I got it from?
Later.
Guess who I got it from? I got it from Myrtle.
Yes.
it.
Oh, you can still smell a scent on it. See?
No, thank you, Bingo.
Can we get on? Right. The girls under 12 egg and spoon race.
Any thoughts about that, Jeeves? Last year's winner, Sarah Mills, is the favourite, sir.
What are her chances?
I haven't seen the gallops, of course, but I understand little Sarah carries a beautiful egg. She...
Bertie!
He's not here. Jeeves?
It's Lady Cynthia, sir.
We thought you were your mother.
Oh, no, she's too busy giving Daddy his evening lecture. Rupert Steggles thinks you're forming a syndicate.
What rot!
Can I join?
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you.
We were just going through the card.
Carry on, Bingo.
Mother's sack race.
Ah, now, you know something about that.
A gift from Mrs. Penwether, the tobacconist's wife. I was in a shop yesterday buying some cigarettes, and she told me that she'd won 3 times at fairs in Worcestershire.
She only moved here a few weeks ago, so no one knows about her yet.
Risk a tenner each way, Jeeves?
I think so, sir.
Father's hat trimming contest.
A very speculative event, sir.
Married couples 3-legged long jump.
I cannot advocate any large-scale disbursement. Somewhat too dependent on it.
Mr. Wooster?
Oh, what ho, Jeeves?
I hoped I might find you here, sir.
Positively animated, Jeeves.
I'm sorry, sir. I have information regarding the choir boy's handicap, sir. The probable winner of that event is even now under the very roof of Twing Hall. Harold, sir, the page boy.
I don't see it, Jeeves. He's practically circular.
The boy is a flyer, sir.
How do you know?
I happened to be pursuing him this morning with a view to fetching him a clip on the side of the head.
Great Scott, Jeeves, you?
The lad is of an outspoken disposition, sir, and had made an opprobrious remark respecting my appearance.
What did he say about your appearance?
I do not recall, sir, but it was opprobrious. I attempted to correct him, but he outdistanced me by yards and made good his escape.
This is sensational. We are sure, are we, Jeeves?
That sounds like the off now, sir.
Mr. Wooster, Mr. Little, Mr. Whitting. What in God's name are you doing there?
The young gentleman had expressed an interest in horticulture, my lady. I was enlightening them as to the life cycle of the earthworm. Essential grounding, I have always felt, for a proper understanding of the subject.
Oh. Oh, I see. Very well, then. Do carry on.
Thank you, my lady. Observe, gentlemen, the distended saddle on this specimen.
Twin, what a drawing.
What ho, Steggles?
Hello, Worcester.
Morning, Myrtle.
Mr. Wooster.
Might I have a word? Now then, touching on the choir boy's 100-yard handicap, I'd like to place a small bet on Harold Harnsworth.
The fat boy. We're quoting, 18 to 1 at the moment.
18 to 1. There you are. To win. Anti-post.
£20 to win? Do you know something?
Know something? No, I just like the name. Harold Harnsworth. It's got a sort of ring to it, don't you think? Harold Harnsworth. Well, I think it has anyway. Whenever I...
Yes, and never mind about that.
Thank you. Good shot, Bingo.
Thank you, Bertie.
You're looking very doleful.
Myrtle went to the cinema in Marketingham with Steggles last night.
Ah, yes, well, you know what Kipling said? The F of the S is much more D than the M.
Really?
Well, Jeeves, what do you think?
Well, if I might paraphrase the poet, sir, I think perhaps we should be valiant but not too venturous.
Ah, yes, but was the poet's ball plugged into the bramble 200 yards from the green and surrounded by trees?
He made no mention of it, sir. Perhaps I can suggest that a spade mashie or even a mashie niblick onto the fairway would be the intelligent shot.
Oh, I agree.
Leaving us with a simple pitch onto the green.
Ah, yes, but we Woosters are made of sterner stuff. Hand me my number 2 iron.
Very good, sir.
Thank you, Jeeves.
Very good, sir.
Thank you, Jeeves.
Say that again.
Well, part of the secret I've found is not to close my eyes till I'm almost at the top of the backswing.
Very interesting. That's what £2.10 you owe me.
I'll just get some change in the bar.
Wait here for 5 minutes.
One,
Three.
one,
Three.
So, where did it come down, Jeeves?
I'm not altogether certain that it did, sir.
What do you mean, it's still in the air? Hefty hit, eh?
Yes, sir. I fancy, however, that our next stroke may pose us some small difficulty.
What a ridiculous place to leave a tree. Right. Yes, I think stroke and distance, don't you, eh, Jeeves? Just shin up there and get it for me, will you? I say, Jeeves, isn't that Harold the page boy over there?
Yes, sir. I believe he comes here caddying on his days off. The few shillings he earns buys food to supplement his diet.
Well, whoever owns that club he's ruining isn't going to be too pleased.
Enjoyed the game, Steggles. Me too. Hey, you!
Well, I don't see that it affects us. We're on at a good price. I put us on at anti-post odds for this very reason, so that we'd have nothing to lose by Harold's form becoming known.
It affects us all right if it doesn't start at all.
What do you mean?
Jeeves said Steggles may try to nobble him before the race begins.
No. Good Lord.
There's all sorts of ways of nobbling favourites. You ought to read some of those racing novels. In Pipped at the Post, Lord Jasper Malevola outs Bonnie Betsy by bribing the head lad to slip a cobra into her stalls the night before the Derby.
Well, I can't imagine where Steggles is going to get hold of a cobra.
You wouldn't like to stand guard in Harold's room, would you, Freddie?
No fear. What are the chances of a cobra biting Harold, do you think?
Well, from the look of Harold, it's the snake I'd be worried about.
So, as we look around the valley of our lives, do we, like Ezekiel, see nothing but dry bones? Do we, like Ezekiel, doubt the Lord's capacity to animate these bones? Do we doubt the Lord's miraculous powers? Do we shake our heads when the Lord asks us, can these bones live? Or do we, with the Lord's help, with the Lord's help, put breath back into these bones? It is up to us, isn't it? In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Amen.
Someone put a beetle down my back.
Nonsense.
I felt it wriggling.
Disgraceful behaviour of these choir boys. Very enjoyable, sir.
I have warned you about this before. Oh,
Jolly good, Vicar. Well
so
done.
glad.
Splendid, splendid.
From this moment, you cease to be a member of my choir. Go, miserable boy.
I didn't want to be in your rotten choir anyway.
Those bets, old boy. I'm afraid you lose your money.
What do you mean?
As I recall them, the race rules read, open to all those members of the choir whose voices have been broken before the second Sunday in Epiphany. Members of the choir, you notice. Well, it's a pity you didn't opt for the starting price. I always think SP is the only safe way.
Talk about the purity of the turf.
A most ingenious young gentleman, Mr. Steggles, sir.
Bally swindler, you mean?
It would now seem that for this afternoon's sports we rely entirely upon Mrs. Penworthy and the Mother's Sacres.
No, not entirely, Jeeves.
Indeed, sir.
Now I've entered bingo in the 80 yards dash for mature gentlemen.
Mr. Little, sir?
I can't seem to buck him over this Myrtle business, and a win on the field of tourney does wonders in the way of impressing the ladies.
If I may say so, sir, I think that when the organisers use the word mature, they are in fact using it as a euphemism for elderly.
Quite. So he'll obviously start as favourite. Now, if we put, say, £50 on bingo to win, well, the syndicate can take Steggles to the cleaners.
Yes, if I may also say so, I think that Mr. Little is bound to start at such very short odds.
Oh, tush, Jeeves. Faint heart never won lots of money. £50 on Mr. Little to win.
I fear, sir, that even so substantial an investment as £50 will yield little more than pennies.
All right, then. Make it 100.
I still believe, sir.
Everything's under control, my dear.
Not too hard, Ale. Hildy, not too hard. Everything all right, girls? Fine. Now, just... Hildy! Last.
Entry's closed for all events in 10 minutes. Come along, please.
There's a slight rise in the ground to the right of the track, so stay in lanes 1 or 2 if you can. All the way, Mrs. Penworthy. What's the going like, Jeeves?
Good to firm, sir. I'm afraid it'll suit Mrs. Hodges. She likes to feel the ground.
I'm not afraid of no Mrs. Hodges.
No, of course not.
Rubbish, she is.
Thank you. Roll up, 3 shies a penny.
3 shies a penny?
It's Myrtle. Don't look.
Well, what are you telling me for, then?
Oh, look at her, Bertie.
You just told me not to.
She walks in beauty like the what's it, Bertie.
Well, why don't you go and speak to her?
Oh, I couldn't. Could I? I will.
All couples for the three-legged race. Report to the starters' table now.
Cynthia, starters' orders.
Take over, Mavis.
Righto, Cynthia.
We've backed a winner on this one. And what's more, Mr. and Mrs. Puckeridge are completely incorruptible.
On your marks. Get set. Go.
Wooster, old chap, could I crave a boon?
Anything, sir.
I hear young Steggles is making a book on the sports. Would you place a bet for me?
Hugo,
Oh.
what are you doing with that money?
Yeah, well, I was just asking young Wooster here to buy me a slice of Eccles cake, my dear.
Any Eccles cake that you require, Hugo, I will get. Come.
21 or over, you get a prize. Come on.
Here, I'll show you.
Thank you, my dear.
Thank you so much, Vicar. Good luck.
Ah, Wooster, my dear fellow. I must say I'm delighted at the way you young chaps are throwing yourself in the spirit of our little festivity.
Oh, nothing I like better, Vicar.
Even Rupert Steggles. Between ourselves, I've never thought of Rupert Steggles as the sort of chap who would put himself out to further the enjoyment of others. And yet, twice in the last half hour, I have seen him escort Mrs. Penworthy to the refreshment tent. Mr. Wooster, I want...
Excuse me. Sorry. Yes, sorry. Excuse me. Sorry. Excuse me, this hat.
Oh, Mrs. Penworthy's. Mrs. Penworthy's that hat, isn't it, Doris?
Mrs. Penworthy's, yes. She was here with that Mr. Steggles.
Steggles.
Did you serve her any drink?
No, it was the food, wasn't it, Daisy?
Well, I thought it must be for a party. 4 of them pork pies he bought her.
And 3 pieces of fruitcake.
And then she had 2 servings of the trifle after the ice cream.
On your mark! Get set, go!
You seem very interested in the mother's sack race, Mr. Wooster.
What? No. Oh, well, that's to say yes. Development of the thoroughbred, you know.
Thoroughbred?
Right, Jeeves, the hour approaches. £100, Mr. Little, on the nose. £100. £100, Bertie. Bingo, I want to show you another insert.
Well done, Mr. Donkin. And now, Miss Watson.
Thank you, Vicar.
Only 4 competitors with the bell so far.
3 balls for Penny. Take your coconuts home if you win a prize. All for the hospital fund. Penny, that's all.
Oh,
Come
sorry.
Oh, dear. I don't know what to... I think we shall have to cancel the event.
That's right. Come on, Find out what your fortune is, Come on, don't be shy.
This is rapidly turning into a rout. You're our last chance, Bingo. Suppose I lose, though? You can't possibly lose. Your youngest competitor is 65, and his bunions were playing him up this morning.
You can get a bet on for me, Cynthia, can't you?
All right, Daddy. But for goodness sake, don't tell Mummy.
Don't tell Mummy what? 3 shies, darling, thank you. Thank you. Here you are, Hugo, do you good.
Your Aunt Agatha's not down here, is she?
Good Lord, no.
It's all right, Maudie. We went to see her.
Oh, it was awful.
Well, you're quite safe down here.
Now, tell me, Bertie, is the vicar about anywhere?
Absolutely. He's over there. Why?
Want to get the banns read, as a matter of fact.
Before she catches up with us. Come on, Piggy.
I'd say, Jeeves, you couldn't hang on to this for me during the race, could you?
With great pleasure, sir. May I introduce Beryl, sir? Beryl, this is Mr. Little.
I say.
Mr. Little is the gentleman who is going to win the 80 yards dash for us.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to the race, Mr. Little.
Richard's the name.
I know you'll win.
Well.
Good luck. Richard.
Oh. My friends call me Bingo.
Oh,
Sorry.
the pure gentleman's race is about to begin. Assemble at the start, gentlemen. Please.
Jeeves, have you seen Bingo?
That's Mr. Little coming up to the start now, sir.
Right, I shall be watching this one from the tape.
Very good, sir.
Hold your bar! Come on, Dan. Get set. Go!
Mr. Little! Richard! Bingo!
If you'll just drink this, sir.
This is the end, Jeeves. Everything we've worked and prayed for. £100, Jeeves.
The darkest hour is proverbially just before the dawn, sir.
I say, Jeeves! Have you seen Beryl?
Not since the race, sir.
I've got to find her, Jeeves. What a wonderful girl!
Yes, sir. Would you care for your jacket, sir?
Thank you, Jeeves. Thank you. Thank you.
How could he lose, Jeeves? That fellow who won, Charlie Benbow, was old enough to give Bingo's grandmother the glad eye.
Mr. Steggles. Excuse me. Betting slips?
No, I...
You may catch the train direct to London, Mr. Steggles. Your things will be sent on. As for your ill-gotten gains, they will go towards the new church roof.
It can all be arranged, old Yaxley.
Thank you so much. Goodbye, Vicar.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Vicar.
Ah, Vicar. A little something for the fun.
A friend. Oh, thank you.
Well, you'll very well pardon me for saying so, Jeeves, but you seem to have landed us in a complete mess.
All right, then, was it, Mr. Jeeves?
Beautifully judged, Beryl, thank you. I'll see you later in the 5 crowns.
All right, Mr. Jeeves. Bye-bye.
Yes, probably none of my business, Jeeves, but may I ask you what you were thanking that young lady for?
I have a confession to make, sir.
Oh, yes?
I requested the girl Beryl to shout at Mr. Little at the strategic moment.
You did what, Jeeves?
I surmise that Myrtle is a large-hearted girl who would more readily sympathize with a gallant loser, sir.
Yes, but Bingo doesn't care a fig about Myrtle. You heard him. It's all Beryl now.
Yes, I must confess that where the fair sex is concerned, Mr. Little is rather quicker out of the gate than even I had imagined.
So, you ruined the syndicate just for Bingo?
Not quite, sir. The syndicate is well into profit, I'm happy to say.
Oh, profit, Jeeves? Every single thing we backed was either scratched, axed, nobbled, or fell at the first fence. We lost £100 on Bingo alone. What do you mean? Is that a of remorse, Jeeves? I hope so.
I'm afraid I couldn't bring myself to place the bet on Mr. Little, sir.
What? Jeeves, I distinctly told you... You mean we didn't lose the 100?
Indeed not, sir. I took it into my head to put what I believe is called in racing parlance a bundle on Charlie Benbow at 15 to 1, sir.
15 to... Jeeves!
A further safeguard, of course, was to collect our winnings before I informed Lady Wickhamsley of Mr. Steggles' activities.
Jeeves, you're a wonder.
Thank you, sir. We do our best.